Hello everyone, I'm so happy to see you here, and in today's video I'm gonna show you the makeup that is not gonna make you feel embarrassed by your teachers, your classmates, because they're not gonna know that you're wearing any of the makeup. It's undetectable and I swear by it because some of the tips I was using when I was studying in school, and trust me, nobody knew that I was wearing any of the makeup. I wish I had this amount of products when I was younger and someone who would tell me that they are existing. But here I am and I'm here to help you. So let's go. After my usual morning skincare, I'm going in with a TIRTIR Mask Fit Tone-Up Essence. And it's kind of like a lightweight foundation and base and primer and a sunscreen, everything in one. But it has only SPF 30, so I do not recommend use it as your sunscreen. I use it on top of my sunscreen, but it is very fair. So if you have a medium to dark skin, I would recommend you to go with some lightweight foundation. And I just blend it with my fingers first because I feel like it's giving the most natural finish. And after that, to absorb all the excess we have on our face right now, to make your foundation really invisible, you need to use a sponge. And it really absorbs all of the products that you don't need on your face. I hate when my foundation is visible, and you're probably gonna hate it too, because if it's gonna be visible, they can ask you to wash your face. So you need to make it really seamless. When I'm using this tone-up essence, you really cannot tell that I have anything on my face. And it really matches my skin tone, so I feel like it is kind of like a foundation, to be honest. I cannot say it is like a tone-up primer because it has coverage. And for me, it's like really a foundation. If you have skin without any imperfections, I'm jealous of you because I do not have it. And you can actually stop here, but since I do have my under eye circles, plus I have like an acne here, I'm gonna use concealer. And it's not just concealer, it's actually color correctors, and you need to know how it works. So if you wanna cover your under eye circles, usually it's gonna be like peachy or yellowish kind of shade. And for me, this shade right here worked the best because it's kind of like a salmon peachy shade, but it's not too dark. And I'm actually just covering up my dark circles like that, but I'm going in with a very thin layer. And maybe like a little bit here. And again, I'm blending it with my sponge. But you can actually use just your fingers. It's gonna work just as fine because your fingers actually melt the product, and products works much better when it's warm. I also would like to cover my acne here, and I would recommend you to use like a cream corrector, but since we do not use much foundation here and cream correctors need to be covered by other concealer, I would just use my usual kind of foundation shade, and I just cover my acne. I let concealer sit for a little bit, like 1 to 2 minutes, because it's gonna fix on your skin and it's just gonna cover everything better. I also like to use my concealer on my Yesstyle, which is kind of controversial, I would say, but I do have this puffy eyelid, so when I cover my darkness on it, it just makes my eyes pop. After we covered everything we needed to cover, you need to go in with a powder because no matter how dry your skin is, it's gonna get a bit oily throughout the day, and school air, you don't need me to explain it to you, right? You know what's gonna happen with you throughout the day. So to fix everything, I would recommend you to use a color correcting powder as well. So it looks like this, but it's kind of pricey, and we are in school, we don't have this kind of money. So there is option that I find for you on Yesstyle, and you can always buy it there. It is low budget and it is a good quality. Make sure you're not applying too much, because if you will apply too much, your makeup will be much more visible and all the dry flakes on your face will be much more visible again. So I'm just powdering my T-zone right here. I'm not powdering my whole face because it's gonna make my face look too matte, and if it's gonna be too matte, it's gonna be too suspicious. This powder is color correcting. Why it is so much important? Because you can actually correct your skin imperfections without using foundation. Like if you have yellowish kind of tone somewhere around your mouth, for example, you just use blue and purple shades and mix them together. If you have red cheeks or some imperfections like acne and stuff, you can use cream powder. But if you don't have that much imperfections on your face, it is completely fine to use just translucent powder. It's gonna be so invisible on your face. This one is from Innisfree and I really like this one because it is very thin and again, it's undetectable on your face. We concealed everything on our face that had any colors, so we need to bring some color back. To bring the color back, I would recommend you to use powder blush, because for me, cream blushes are much more visible than powder ones. What is important is to use the color of your natural blush color. If you do not have any blush on your face, like you are tanned, better use bronzer than blush because it's gonna be much more natural on you. But if you do have a natural rosy cheeks, I would recommend you to use this DIOR blush. It is not that much pigmented, so it's gonna be really the perfect blush for me. I am using it on my cheeks like that, where I usually do blush, but I just dust it off very gently, so it's not gonna be that much obvious that I'm wearing anything on my face. I use some on my nose and on my eyelids. If you want to add some glow back, it is not that much recommended, but you can use this. This is my holy grail when I want to look like I have a highlighter, but nobody can tell that I'm having highlighter. People think that I'm just well moisturized, but actually I'm not. So what I'm doing is using this transparent balm stick from Hince, and I warm it up like this on my hand, taking a sponge that I used earlier, dab it in, and just use it on places where I'm usually using the highlighter. So it is the highest point of my cheekbones, and it just looks like I'm having glowy skin. I just use moisturizer. What do you need, makeup? I didn't use any highlighter. You can see there's no shimmer. Moving on to the eye makeup, all you need is 2 shades. So I'm taking this eyeshadow palette and I'm looking at my skin color and on this palette, and I'm taking 1 shade that is lighter than my skin. Gonna be this one, and 1 shade darker than my skin, which is gonna be like probably this one. So the lighter shade I'm gonna use on my upper eyelid, and for the darker shade I'm gonna use it on my crease. I'm kind of like shading everything that is already there, but I'm making it more prominent. I also like to use the lighter shade on my lower eyelid because it's giving me kind of aegosite again, but it really makes my eyes look more fresh. For my eyelashes, I'm gonna use an eyelash curler, but please be careful. You still wanna have your eyelashes after that. I'm just gonna curl it like this. I was so scared of curler and I still do not recommend using it every day. You can live without it. So you can use mascara, you can skip that part completely because it's gonna be obvious that you are using mascara, but I'm just gonna use a little bit, and I would recommend you to use brown mascara, but I just do not have it right now with me. So I'm just gonna go very lightly, like touching my eyelashes for 2 to 3 times. And the last step will be our lipstick. And if you want to know your perfect lipstick shade that is gonna be very natural on you and nobody's gonna know that you're wearing anything on your lips, all you have to do is just take your lip like this and twist it like that. This is your perfect lipstick color. So for me, it's kind of like this peachy color, but still very light. And I actually managed to find this kind of lipstick. It's actually a lip tint from Amuse. Anyway. And the important thing that it is matte. You need to use matte lip tint. See, it's just like my lip color but better. And you need to use a lip tint because it's gonna stay for a whole day. I can apply 100 layers of it and I will not feel anything. It is really so lightweight. I do not see people talk enough about this product, but it is really amazing. It doesn't look like you have anything on your lips. It doesn't feel like you have anything on your lips. What you can also do is take any of your lipsticks and just take it by your finger and dab it on your lips. It's gonna make a similar effect, but again, just make sure it's gonna look like your inner part of your lips. And here's the finished result. It still looks very natural. It still doesn't look like you're wearing any makeup, and you can skip any step that you feel like gonna be too obvious on you. But in general, I feel like we did a very good job. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and you can write any tips that you think is gonna be very useful for students, or maybe some tips you use yourself. And see you later. Bye!